Hello friends, I hope you are well. Techman Pat here, and today we're talking DDR5. We did DDR4 memory a few weeks back, and now it's time to see how the next generation of RAM works. And nostalgia also hit me a little bit too hard. I listened to Daft Punk's Random Access Memory album. It was great, all while writing this video. So, great albums aside, in today's video, the DDR5 memory that we'll be testing is the Crucial Pro Kit. I have with me 4 16 gig sticks rated at 5600 megatransfers per second. We're going to test how the number of modules affect your gaming experience, if CL values really matter, and as always with my videos, maybe, just maybe, learn a little bit more about the topic at hand, hopefully. Now, big thanks to Crucial for sending me this kit for review. Make sure to check out their links below for where you could buy the RAM if you like it, if this video makes sense to you, and of course read a little bit more about the brand. They also sell SSDs and M.2 drives, and this channel has a few videos on those too if you want to have a look below. Also, if you take the moment to tap the like button, that always helps in the world of YouTube, and subscribe to see more content like this and support the channel. For those who already have, thank you very much for your continual support. Let's get started by rolling the intro. I find having a bit of context always a good way to start a conversation. What is RAM? Well, first of all, it stands for Random Access Memory. So if my Daft Punk reference felt out of place in the start, now you kind of know. It's the temporary storage in your computer that gives applications a place to store and access data on a short-term basis. Kind of like Airbnb, but without the housing crisis. So having more RAM means that more data can be accessed and read almost instantly, as opposed to being written onto your hard drive, which is generally a bit slower. The reason RAM is faster is because it is directly connected to the CPU. No speed bumps in between, and of course DDR5 is the 5th generation of double data rate synchronous dynamic random access memory, aka DDR5 SD RAM. Now, compared to its predecessor DDR4, DDR5 was planned to reduce power consumption while doubling bandwidth. Was that achieved? Well, technically yes. The standard originally targeted for 2018, but was released on July 14, 2020, and at the time of release, it wasn't much better than DDR4. Actually, in fact, it was a complete disappointment. And so the rest of the industry surrounding RAM, specifically motherboards, wasn't really geared up to support it. However, over the last 12 months, DDR5 has finally beat DDR4 in price to performance. You can now build a DDR5 platform with RAM that's cheaper or the same price, but faster than the top end of DDR4. Quick note, adding more or faster RAM to your computer is always a nice way to speed up your PC, but you cannot download more RAM, no matter what people tell you. DDR5 has some nifty features too. One feature called Decision Feedback Equalization. It enables I/O speed scalability for higher bandwidth and performance improvements, which is just a fancy way of saying it's much more efficient. Now, DDR5 supports more bandwidth than its predecessors, but has about the same latency as DDR4 and DDR3, though it can achieve much higher frequencies. Also, DDR5 further reduces memory voltages to 1.5 volts, thus reducing power consumption. And in fact, DDR5 modules incorporate an onboard voltage regulator in order to reach higher speeds. And DDR5 supports a speed of 51.2 gigabytes per second per module and 2 memory channels per module. Now lastly, and please bear with me on the pronunciation on this one, DDR5 octuplates 8 times the maximum of DIMM capacity from 64 gig to 512. Now, unlike DDR4, all DDR5 chips have an on-die ECC, which stands for error correcting code, where errors are detected and corrected before sending data to the CPU. This is, however, not the same as the true ECC memory with extra data correction chips on the memory modules. There still exist non-ECC and ECC DDR5 variants. Now let's talk about compatibility. For a while now, the official RAM support of a CPU hasn't really mattered that much, and it is the same for DDR5, as pretty much every CPU will clock memory faster than its officially supported frequencies. There isn't a single desktop CPU sold today that officially supports speeds higher than 5600 mega transfers, but memory kits exist that are rated to 7600 mega transfers, and of course a little bit higher even. Because memory overclocking is a thing, and generally the official support frequencies don't mean a whole lot to the actual memory support. Now I have a Ryzen 7950X, and so the Ryzen 7000 series generally tops out at somewhere between 6100 mega transfers and 6400 mega transfers, depending on how lucky you are with your CPU. So with my Ryzen 9 7950X, I was able to get 6000 mega transfers with this Crucial Pro kit, but officially the chip says 5200 mega transfers. So there we are. Now from my testing, 5600 mega transfers seems to be the best value for the AMD Ryzen 7000 series. You can always easily overclock to 6000 mega transfers if you wish, and so we're going to test that today with the Crucial Pro kit, which comes in at 5600 mega transfers. Now I wanted to provide some real-world benchmarks because synthetic benchmarks scale nicely on a graph, it looks great, but they just do not translate to actual use cases. The first gaming benchmark is looking at frames per second based on RAM mega transfer speeds. And of course, it also means that I had to underclock and use the built-in available on the motherboard Expo 1 overclock profiles and 2 that are compatible with this RAM kit. As you can see, the 5600 mega transfers is the sweet spot, and overclocking to 6000 mega transfers doesn't yield enough performance gains to justify the effort, especially in gaming. In fact, in some games I tested, we ended up going a little bit backwards. While the Crucial Pro lineup has enough headroom to overclock even further than 6000 mega transfers, I don't believe there's any need to do so for the average user, nor is it likely that you won the CPU lottery and it will actually work. The Expo 1 and 2 modes will be plenty enough to get the most out of your RAM modules. Speaking of lotteries, overclocking isn't the same across the board. I'd like to point out that when you buy Crucial RAM, you aren't buying the classic RAM module lottery. Unlike other brands, Crucial is owned by Micron, the maker of the integrated circuit chips with MOS memory cells, which to the everyday normal guy means they build everything themselves. The point is, you know what you're getting in every module that you purchase, which also leads to something else: consistency in performance. When you start pairing more than 2 RAM modules in your system, you could run into problems. In fact, this is why many online don't recommend more than 2 modules, even if you have a 4-slot machine, unless you obviously need the RAM for some very specific use case. You see, other RAM kit brands will have slight differences in each batch of modules, as many do not own the entire manufacturing pipeline. These differences end up hurting performance for those who buy RAM at 2 different times, sometimes even on the same day, but from 2 different packs. So look, you're only as fast as your slowest brain cell, so drink beer, kill them off, right? Your performance will always fall to the slowest module in the set, unlike with Crucial, where the IC components are all from the same factory and match up, so the performance should be the same across the board. So to demonstrate, in this benchmark, I pit Crucial Pro against Corsair's Vengance RAM. I matched the specifications, and aside from the Vengance RAM having a slightly faster CL value, they're basically the same. Also, it turned out that for games, CL value makes little difference. As you can see in the 3 games I tested, the performance was equally matched, or at least close to, within each module's number. But once you throw in the 3rd and 4th module, the numbers drop for Corsair's Vengance RAM, while the Crucial Pro maintains the performance. Now, I ran the benchmark 10 times in each scenario to get a glimmer of consistency, so yes, it's a few frames, but you can see there is a clear difference. What's more interesting is the CL values. The gaming results are very similar. The CL value of the Corsair RAM is much lower at 36, but the Crucial RAM is 46. Now, according to past logic, the one with the lower CL should perform better, but with gaming, that's just not the case anymore. Sure, the latency varies by 1 to 3 nanoseconds in synthetic benchmarks, but it doesn't translate into more frames. So we're back to a similar conclusion with DDR5 for the average gamer. And let me reiterate, the average gamer is not an enthusiast who's going to be tinkering with it day and night instead of playing. Don't get me wrong, I do this and I wish I was playing instead right now, but here we are. So here is my recommendations. It's best to have 2 modules of RAM. Better to have them from one IC manufacturer. Good to look for the highest MT that matches your CPU's sweet spot. And for now, you can ignore the CL values because for everyday and gaming use, it really doesn't seem to matter. Then, if you want to go all in and add 4 modules to feed your Chrome so it grows to a big browser, then Crucial's Pro lineup offers the best stability and performance as you add more modules. Finally, price. The Crucial Pro RAM 2x 16GB kit sells for around 155 Australian dollars at the moment, which makes it an excellent choice for those on a budget wanting to have excellent and reliable performance in their new build. They also look quite sleek. Big thanks to Crucial for sending me the RAM kit for review. Check out the links below for where you can find them. And of course, thanks for watching. Remember, if you like this video, then smash the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, then make sure to subscribe, which also helps to support this channel. Thanks for watching, and bye!